Not long ago, a retired mechanic in Ohio put up a post that tore straight through the auto repair world. He didn't write a manifesto. He didn't argue with anyone. He simply listed what was parked in his own driveway. A 2003 Toyota Tacoma, a 2008 Honda Civic, a 1998 Ford F-250. The newest machine his family owned had rolled off the line back in 2014. And in all the years since, nothing newer ever earned a spot beside it. The post spread because people recognized something uncomfortable in it. Here was a man who knew engines better than almost anyone alive, and he had voted with his own driveway. Think about who this man is. He spent 40 years earning his paycheck under the hood, his hands inside engine bays from the muscle car era right up to the present. Dealership-grade diagnostic tools sit within easy reach for him. His budget could cover just about anything on a showroom floor, and still, he refuses to let one current model vehicle through his garage door. He's nowhere close to alone in this. Independent mechanics all across the country are quietly arriving at the very same verdict. They've seen what now hides behind the dashboard of a new truck, not on a spec sheet, but in the wiring, in the software, in the fine print. No salesman reads aloud, and they're stepping away before the invoice ever lands. The modern vehicle has been engineered into something that wears the shape of a truck, but behaves like a phone. You don't own it. You're renting the permission to use it. That's why the people who fix cars for a living won't put a new one in their own garage. And the 5 reasons behind that choice should unsettle anyone about to shop for a new truck right now. The first reason is the component locking ransom. Picture a routine failure. The climate control module in your 2022 truck gives out on a hot afternoon. A salvage yard a few miles down the road has the identical unit sitting on a shelf for $200, same part number, same generation, pulled from a wrecked truck with low miles. In the old days, this was a 30-minute job. Bolt it in, clear the connectors, drive off. These days, the moment your mechanic fits that salvage part, the truck registers that it's present. The wiring is flawless. The fit is perfect. And yet the climate control flatly refuses to run. The truck has figured out that this particular part was never paired at the factory to this exact vehicle identification number, and it is decided that makes the part an intruder. The industry calls it component protection. Every major manufacturer now digitally ties its electronic modules to the original VIN radio modules. Headlight assemblies, transmission control units, the works. To wake up that salvage part, your mechanic has to connect to the manufacturer's own authorization server and hand over a fee for the privilege. With BMW, that fee can climb to $500 for a single module. Mercedes runs closer to $400. The line they feed you is anti-theft technology, a noble-sounding shield against parts thieves. What it actually does is turn a $200 repair into a toll booth, and the manufacturer owns the only road through. That isn't security. It's extortion with a software license. The second reason is the diagnostic paywall. For decades, every car sold in the United States shared one standardized diagnostic port called OBD2. The deal was simple and fair. You plug in a scanner, the car reports its own faults in plain codes, and you go repair them. A professional snap-on scanner that cost $5,000 back in 2010 could read any vehicle in any shop anywhere in the country. One tool, every brand. Then the manufacturers found their workaround. They began fitting what's known as a secure gateway module. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram call theirs the SGW. Volkswagen, Audi, and Porsche call theirs the SES-FD. Different names, identical purpose. Each one sits between the OBD2 port and the car's actual computers, like a bouncer planted in the doorway of a club, checking credentials before anyone gets in. Your mechanic can plug that same $5,000 scanner straight into the port and pull back absolutely nothing useful. To clear the gateway, they now have to sign in to the manufacturer's website, prove who they are, and buy a temporary access token, sometimes valid, for only 30 minutes of work before it expires and the meter starts again. Stretch that across a real business. A small independent shop juggling 12 different brands can burn through more than $2,000 every month in software subscriptions alone. Money spent before a single oil filter has been changed or a single dollar of profit earned. The diagnostic port was supposed to set you free. Now it's a turnstile, and the manufacturer collects every time it turns. The third reason is what you might fairly call the amplification of the automobile. If any of this is starting to ring a bell, it absolutely should. A decade back, Apple made it nearly impossible for independent shops to repair iPhones. They bonded screens directly to motherboards, paired serial numbers so swapped parts through errors, and used software updates to quietly disable third-party fixes. It was a masterclass in locking customers into the mothership, and the car industry was taking detailed notes the entire time. Your truck is now an iPhone with wheels. The driver's seat memory module talks to the body control module, which talks to the infotainment system, which talks to the cloud, one long chain of dependencies where nothing is allowed to stand alone. Brush the wrong wire and the whole ecosystem throws a tantrum. Dealerships have leaned on this engineered monopoly to charge prices that would have drawn open laughter in the year 2000. Here's a real-world example of the math. A basic parking sensor swap on a 2023 luxury SUV now runs $1,500 at the dealer counter. The sensor itself costs $60. The labor takes about 20 minutes for anyone who knows where the bolt is. So where does the rest go? That remaining $1,420 is pure surcharge the fee for being the only people on earth legally cleared to touch the part. You don't own your car in any meaningful sense. You're licensing the right to drive it, and the landlord sets the rent. If you're getting something out of this, take a second to hit subscribe. Truck Guide breaks down planned obsolescence and dealership tactics like these every single week. The fourth reason is over-the-air bricking and subscription hardware, and this is the one that truly spooks the professionals. Every modern vehicle from a major brand now ships with a live cellular link to the manufacturer's cloud, baked in from the factory. Your truck is online whether that suits you or not, and those over-the-air updates were never presented as optional. Here's why that should worry you. If an independent mechanic discovers a clever way to authorize a salvage module without paying the dealer tax, the manufacturer can simply push down an update at 3 in the morning that seals the loophole shut. The repair that worked perfectly yesterday suddenly lights up a warning today, and the honest mechanic who did the work takes the blame for it. Tesla has been running this exact playbook for years. There are documented cases of Tesla remotely switching off features on used vehicles the moment they changed hands, sometimes features the original buyer had paid full price for, gone overnight because the car decided the new owner hadn't earned them. Then came the subscription scandal that woke everyone up. In 2022, BMW rolled out a program that locked heated seats already physically installed in the car, wiring complete, hardware bought and paid for behind an $18 monthly fee. The seats were sitting right there under the upholstery. The car simply would not switch them on unless the subscription was current. Public outrage killed that particular program. But make no mistake, the architecture that made it possible is still baked into every modern car on the lot. Heated steering wheels, remote start, adaptive cruise control, all of it can sit idle, fully built, waiting for the manufacturer to throw the switch the day the next revenue stream is ready. Mechanics look at a machine like that and see a ticking financial bomb strapped under the dash. They want no part of it. The fifth reason is the one the experts mostly keep to themselves, the mechanic's sweet spot. Over years of working on everything, they've quietly pinpointed a stretch of model years when the technology had matured enough to be genuinely dependable, but hadn't yet been turned into a weapon against the owner. That window runs roughly from 1996 to about 2014. The 1996 line matters, because that's the year OBD2 diagnostics became federally required, which means anything built afterward carries standardized fault codes that even a $40 scanner from the corner parts store can read. The 2014 line matters, because that's when secure gateways, component locking, and always-on cellular connectivity began spreading across the mainstream brands. The shift is almost philosophical. Before 2015, most vehicles still treated the mechanic as a partner in keeping the thing alive. After 2015, they treat the mechanic as a suspect to be locked out. Inside that golden window, a handful of trucks have turned outright legendary. The 1997 to 2003 Ford F-150 with the 4.6L Triton, the 2003 to 2007 Toyota Tacoma with the 2.7L four-cylinder, the 2001 to 2006 Chevy Silverado with the 5.3 V8, the first-generation Tundra. Even the 7.3 Power-Stroke diesel from the late 1990s now commands prices that would have seemed flat-out absurd a decade ago. What all of them share is mechanical honesty. When something breaks, you can see it, put your hand on it, and fix it. There's actual room in the engine bay to get your arms in and work. A code reader and a basic socket set will keep one of these trucks running for another 20 years without a single phone call to a manufacturer's server. That's why the mechanics are quietly buying them up. They've run the math on a brand new truck and concluded it's nothing more than a depreciating subscription with airbags. So if you're on the verge of spending $70,000 on a new truck, sit with one simple question first. 10 years from now, when something inevitably fails, who do you want holding the keys to fix it, you, your trusted local mechanic, or the manufacturer's billing department? The mechanics have already answered that question with their own driveways. They picked the trucks that still belong to the people who own them. And if this video shifted the way you think about your next truck even a little, the one on screen right now is the lemon list you need to see before you sign a single sheet of paperwork.